I'm a bit nuts, but a lot of you don't. And Sammy and Liger together have left me a message. When I first looked at it, I saw a koala bear. I don't have my glasses on, so it's kind of cool because I can get kind of the edges are blurred, which allows my higher self to see what it needs to see. And right now, what I'm looking at is a little mouse with its mouth open, going, "Oh!" So first of all, koala, it speaks about empathy, and it says, "Speak less, listen more." And mouse says, "Pay attention to the details. The devil is in the details. No freaking kidding me." And then as I kind of turn it a little bit to the side, I see it can turn into, well, first this way, I see a puppy, but then this way, see how the serrated spoon, you can see the lines? Well, with my glasses not on, it looks like the continuation of whiskers. And right then my cat came out. So cat is independence, it's sensitivity, it's balance, it's spirituality, right? Puppy, you've got a lot to learn, puppy, right? Love, loyalty, devotion. But sometimes we get devoted to the wrong things. I had a discussion this morning with an emperor angelfish. Actually, I can just completely see him right there. Now what are you going to turn into? Oh, now I see a panda bear. Wow, can you see? And a raccoon. See the nose to the top right here? And this corner, right? And then the dark eye. Panda bear is what I saw first. Bipolar is what comes to mind. Next, I'll have to look up panda bear totem. That's definitely panda bear. And the discussion that I had, it just surprised me. You know, you look at people's posts and they can be very kind and say very nice things, and you have a certain perspective of who they are, and then they share with you what they actually truly feel, and you're like, wow, I don't want anything to do with that at all. Like, that is not my belief system at all. I know that there's a lot of people that, you guys get to watch me clean my cat box, because who knows what we'll find in here, right? Seriously, clean your cat box. You never know what you'll find in there. People follow yogis, right? I don't believe in followers, period. I don't want followers. I am not a follower. Spirit encourages us to be independent, said the cat when he showed up, right? Or she. And somebody has a lot of knowledge, and maybe more than you, because you're a puppy. You're just awakening to the gifts. You have a massive amount of gifts, and you got to learn how to say appropriate words. We all do, right? Because, you know, you say things and it goes out there. And right now it's interesting. It's the planets line up right now. It's the way things are aligned. Capricorn is going at Pisces. And Capricorn, of course, is known as the devil. And I'm in a Pisces moon, right? And this discussion this morning, it triggered me. I'll tell you, it triggered me. And I had to catch myself. And I said right away, okay, this triggered me. Why did this trigger me? I'm not going to let this affect me. So I said, you know, hey, we can agree to disagree. This person sent me a picture of a beautiful young girl covered in tattoos. And I said, she's beautiful. Is she your wife? And he says, no, she's one of my disciples. And I said, okay, God. And he said, I was appointed a yogi when my yogi died. And when I die, one of my followers will, you know, or my disciples or followers will become. And I just thought, you know, I'm not going to sit here and argue, because there's probably a lot of you that follow yogis. There's yogi, what is, they've got a lot of great teaching, and, you know, but I'm sorry, I don't freaking follow anybody, period. And the person said that they were able to read they knew this about me already. What do you mean? What do you know about me? Well, I read your mind. I have control. The universe is mine. And I said, no one has permission to enter my mind, period. You don't know. You think you know what my mind is telling you, but you're wrong, because my mind is shut to you and to anyone that comes at me in that way. The only one I'm open to is spirit, and you're certainly not acting like that. And I didn't want to fight, though, but that's when it triggered me, right? And I said, look, this is where we're going to agree to disagree, because I don't believe in that, and Spirit's made it very clear to me. Do not remember where you came from, of course. and the gifts that you have, but I am not God and you are not God. I'm a piece of God. Now, some of you feel you are God, and we can again agree to disagree. You'll never change my mind. I will never. And I said, I don't follow that belief system. I'm not into cults. I was raised in one. Thank you very much. So this is not anything I'm interested in at all. And I said, but of course you would already know that since you've traveled the universe and it all belongs to you. And of course I was triggered. How can you tell, right? And then I'm like, okay, you know what? So I said, you know what? I look forward to having my gifts open up to me, right? And expanding in my knowledge. And basically, blessings on your freaking journey, because I'm not going to be part of it. And it was like, wow, it just, it takes me back to when I was in Sedona and when I was sent there by Spirit, and I was told to stay separate. They kept me separate. They kept me isolated. They did not want me connecting to the spiritual leaders or when I was so young and impressionable, when I was just awakening to my gifts. And a lot of times you may think, oh, I've had my gifts since I was a child. Well, we reawaken on many levels as we go up. And the more we know, the less we know. And if you keep that in mind, the better you'll be, right? But so many people forget. And once they get a large following, it goes to their head and they think they are God. No, you're not. If you're God, then why don't you cure your mother's cancer? Because you're not. And you need to remain humble. And then they showed me Keanu Reeves this morning and a post I shared. And I thought, can I love that man anymore? I don't care if you own a freaking ashram. I don't want to belong to it. I don't want anything to do with it. I would never sit and follow you. Never. I follow Spirit. I follow my animal messengers before I would follow anyone. My animals peed in a cat box and gave me 3 extremely loud messages. I trust that more than anything because that is direct from Spirit. So, I don't know. The song right now, Don't Show Up. Don't come out. Aren't you the one that said goodbye? You wanted to hurt me with goodbye? Don't show up. I don't want anything to do with that bullshit. I'm thinking about being triggered, right? Now, we're all human. We all get triggered. And things cause us to do certain things and say certain things, and maybe things come out wrong because, look, we're going into the pre-shadow period of Mercury retrograde, right? And as spiritual teachers, as the ones who are enlightened earlier, I'm hit harder, right? So many of us are hit before in the pre-shadow period. So words can come across wrong, but I kind of continued the conversation to see where it was going, and it remained there. And I told you guys how when I left organized religion, I left Master Jesus as well because I felt I didn't need somebody. Here's an example, right? Here's me learning my own lesson. I didn't need anyone to go to before I spoke to my own father. That's my own father. I'll talk to my dad, thanks, and Archangel Michael is my brother, and so is Metatron, and those are but I was very dismissive and I was very rude to them, right? And maybe you're thinking that I'm being this way to this teacher, but I remember as a child growing up when Master Jesus, most humble, most loving, gentle, compassionate, kind, and when the Pharisees, who thought they were all that in a freaking bag of chips and owned their own ashram, started changing money in his father's house, he freaking went through there like a white lightning and said, get the fuck out of my father's house. So I think he was triggered, don't you? Sometimes we get triggered for the right reasons. It keeps us safe, tells you where you don't want to be, makes you reevaluate things and think, wow, I got to look at this a lot more closely. Maybe what I was manifesting and what I was asking for, I don't want after all.